Good morning, it's Drew and it's a cold, dark, dank Thursday morning here in Herne Bay, and I'm taking the opportunity to get on with the TVR Griffith for a couple of hours this morning. Made a little bit of progress over the last couple of weeks. I just put a video up showing the skimmed flywheel, so that now means all the clutch components are here. And I can get ready to put the clutch and the gearbox on as a little project over the next few weeks. I've sprayed some grey, very heavily fortified with zinc primer paint over the refurbished chassis outriggers, and I've begun to dismantle the rear hubs and suspension units, ready to get those cleaned up, replace the drive shaft boots and the brake calipers. Ran into a bit of a snag because it's, I think, a 41mm hub nut, and the largest socket I've got is 40mm and doesn't quite fit, so I'm waiting on a bigger hub nut to arrive. How hard is that to say? A socket that will fit the hub nut. So that should arrive in the next few days, and I can crack on with that. But I ordered up some wishbone bushes, so today's job, to start with anyway, is to press the new bushes into the wishbones, and then if I get enough time, swap out the rusted wishbone for the new one. You can join me again later. Just as a quick aside, this is my working area at the back of my single garage en bloc. A little bit damp, no electric, and it is used for storing all sorts of things, car parts, household stuff. This is my bench, which I'm going to use, hopefully, to find a way to, if I can get everything lined up at least. Yeah, something like that. Get the arm and the bushing in there and press it home. I'll update you when it's done. I don't think I've got any chance at all of trying to film myself doing that. Oh. Literally 10 minutes later, I've got one bush in, dead easy, just went straight in. A little bit of lube from some 3-in-1 oil. This is what I've done to set it up. Managed to work it into my little bench vise, and it's just a question of tightening it up. Relatively stiff. But yeah, just it goes in straight away, and then right at the end, just need to balance this larger socket here on the end there, just so that it can go in the last centimetre or so. But yeah, really chuffed with how that's going. Well, by the miracle of technology, we've fast forwarded it. It's now a Saturday morning, and it's a lovely sunny day at the end of January in the UK. A little bit cold, but another chance to get another couple of hours on the TVR project. Since my last update, which was literally a couple of days ago, I've got the bushes in the lower wishbone, and I've got that back fitted onto the car now. I chipped the hammerite in a couple of places whilst I was doing that, so just sort of touched that up now, waiting for that to dry before I put the nut on the lower ball joint and put the drop linking arm in, and then that will pretty much be it for the front suspension. It'll need a little bit of setting up just before I put the body on. I've got a whole set of new nylock nuts to go on the suspension arms. Don't really like to use or reuse nylock, certainly more than once or twice. Probably shouldn't even do that. But what I'll do, I'll replace all of those, and I'll work out or find out what the torques are, and I'll get those torqued down to the correct fitting. I'll set up the suspension as best I can. There is an adjustment for the camber on the top ball joint. I'll do that, and the track rod ends, I've got to swap those over as well, but obviously it will need a proper 4-wheel alignment before it goes back on the road. But yeah, really happy. That's the front suspension, or certainly the hard work for the front suspension, largely done. Just because I was a bit bored this morning, and while I had the good access to the chassis there, I just sprayed a little bit of black stone chip on that just to see what it would look like and how that would work out. And then the big job this morning, going round the back of my damp and grotty garage. The next job is to get this hub knot undone. Managed to order a 41mm socket off of eBay, arrived yesterday. That's what was delaying this job. Happily that fits, so next job is to take that off. I've got the suspension arm off at the top because I took that off and painted it because I wanted to start progressing the job, but I've put the brake caliper back on, and hopefully there'll be enough grip in that to get this nut undone. I think the torque is something like 200 Newton meters. That's tight, but it's not that tight. And if I was a wealthy person, then I'd probably have a lovely impact wrench and it would take that off in seconds. But I've just got my long breaker bar, and in a minute we'll see how we do. Crucial thing to remember is on these is the threads are handed so the nuts don't come undone, and on the left hand side it will be I think they call it a right hand thread, but anyway it's the reverse thread that you would normally do. So normally it would be lefty loosey righty tighty, so actually in this case it's righty loosey. So we can have a go at that. Don't know that I'll be able to do that and film it, but you never know your luck. So that's on, and we'll step back here, and there it goes. Way. So yeah, that's great news. Yeah, really chuffed with that. That's fantastic. So next job is to dismantle this rear end and get it cleaned up, and then measure up the drive shaft boots. Again, they're not torn. They feel hard and brittle, but I think whilst we've got it apart, it'd be a false economy to do anything other than to replace those. And then we get all these suspensions arms stripped back, painted up. Should be getting somewhere. Okay, so I'll try and do an update later on in the day. Right, lost a little bit track of where we are, but it's now Sunday lunchtime. Since the last video, spent most of my time, an hour here, an hour there, as I can do, just stripping out the rear suspension. And the next job at this end is going to be get in there with the wire brush and clean up the remaining parts of the chassis. Quite a battle to get this off. A lot of the nuts are done up really tight, but managed to get it done in the end. Whilst I had it all reasonably accessible, put a little bit of stone chip on this chassis leg here as part of the protection measures for the chassis going forward. I've still got to take the caliper off. I'm going to replace the caliper and the rear brake hose when I put it all back together. So I've got the remaining chassis components outside. Chassis components, rear suspension components. So the upper arm, got that off a week or so ago, so I've wire brushed that down and given that a first coat of Hammerite. But if you just compare and contrast to the lower arm, this is the kind of stuff that it looks like when it comes out. Lots and lots of surface rust, lots of grime and horror, but hopefully the wire brush in the angle grinder treatment and a coat of Hammerite will get that looking spick and span. Rear hub, drive shaft, hopefully that will be fairly straightforward to do. Just look to change over these rubber boots, which are getting well towards the end of their life. They're inexpensive. I think it'd be a really good job just to do while I've got it all apart. A bit of cleaning up and painting, and then finally this upright section, very heavy, big chunk of steel this is, but yeah, hopefully a wire brush, and I will probably go and do a contrasting coat of paint like I had last time. So we'll have black arms, and I'll probably do this in silver, make it look good. That will probably be it for the weekend. So if you like what I'm doing, hit like and subscribe. Any questions or comments below? Thank you.